So I'm going to talk about the UFC Fight Night Volkov vs Aspinall featured fight of Paddy Pimblett vs Rodrigo Vargas in the lightweight division. So starting off, this is not the matchup we were all expecting. Everyone was expecting Paddy Pimblett vs Jared Gordon, but then Jared Gordon got booked against Rafael Alves. But this fight got announced first, obviously. But yeah, now they're both booked up. I would imagine if Gordon wins against Alves, that fight could be next, or even if he loses. There's the beef there. Gordon beat one of Pimblett's teammates, Fishgold, I think. But yeah, anyway, enough about that. We got to give Vargas the respect of being in this matchup. It's not just the Paddy Pimblett show, although this fight is only the featured fight because of Paddy Pimblett, though. But Rodrigo Vargas is tough. People are going to look at that 1-2 record in the UFC and think he's like dog shit. But what they don't realize is he was beating the shit out of Brock Weaver, and he only lost because of that illegal knee. And then his only real loss was against Alex Da Silva, who's not a horrible fighter. From memory, he was giving Brad Riddell problems in their fight. I think he took a round against Brad Riddell, who's a ranked lightweight. So it's not like Vargas is losing to the worst of the worst. And his first loss was a reverse triangle, I believe. I know it was a submission. I think it was a reverse triangle against Jose Canceres. And if that name rings a bell, firstly, yeah, it's Alex Canceres' brother. And also, he's the only man to beat Kamaru Usman, and he did it by submission as well. So it's not like Vargas is losing to the worst of the worst. Especially when you look at those losses. And Brock Weaver didn't really beat him. He got a DQ, which doesn't really say much about Vargas's skill set, losing by DQ when he was winning the fight too, and then he made a stupid mistake. But 12-4, he's Mexican, so you got to know he's going to have a decent chin, which he's shown in a lot of his fights. His grappling is a big red flag at some points. He's gotten taken down a fair bit in his fights. And Paddy Pimblett, if he's going back to grappling Paddy Pimblett, he probably can submit him and take him down. But we also seen Paddy fail to get Luigi down to the ground in his last fight. But Luigi's also underrated in my opinion. He's just been getting unfavorable matchups from the UFC and arguably won the fight against Ziam. But anyway, enough about that. So Paddy Pimblett's going to be the obvious favourite in this fight, mostly because of star power, but also he does have some skill himself. He's got a granite chin, but his defense, he leaves that chin up in the air. And Vargas has got power. He actually has a TKO victory against Jordan Williams, and if that name rings a bell, that's the guy who fought Ian Gary in Ian Gary's debut. He got knocked out in that fight, but he was giving Ian Gary a run for his money. Also had a competitive fight against Nasruddin Imavov, and also got choked out by Mickey Gall. So that's a decent win to have under Vargas's belt, especially being a lightweight now and Williams being a former middleweight. And he spent a lot of his career at welterweight, actually. Debuted in lightweight in his 10th fight, sorry. So, yeah, he's got a lot of experience against bigger guys, and Paddy Pimblett's actually a former bantamweight. But that was because he debuted at such a young age. But anyway, I'm just talking to talk right now. But the way I see this fight going is I think Paddy's gonna finish him, but it could be tough. Rodrigo is a gamer. He's going in there to win. He's not going to be any pushover. Like everyone's expecting him to get ran through, and maybe that does happen. But I think the first will be competitive if it's just striking. But if Paddy fights a smart game, maybe goes to the body a bit of Vargas, tries to gas him out a little bit, and just takes him down or hurts him at any point, he'll snatch that neck and get a sub. But it's hard to 36 years old, Vargas. So you can tell they're really trying to give Paddy favourable matchups here, and I think obviously I would favour Paddy in this fight, but I feel like Vargas can give him a decent fight. But we'll just have to see how Paddy's takedowns will go against Vargas. Vargas's takedown defense isn't the best, but he's only been subbed once. But this will really tell us a lot about Paddy's. Now this will really show us like what Paddy Pimblett's level is. You know, if he goes in there and completely like destroys Vargas, then I would be shocked. Like if he just goes in there and makes it completely one-sided, I would be pretty shocked. Like it would show how high level Paddy is. You know, Alex De Silva, like I mentioned before, had a somewhat competitive fight with Brad Riddell from memory, and you know Vargas lost to him, and then he technically lost to Brock Weaver, but you know he was beating him and it was a DQ. So he's only really lost once, and it was to Alex De Silva. He's not horrible, and obviously he got subbed by Jose Canceres, which you know Kamaru Usman shares. So he shares a loss with Kamaru Usman. So you can't really fault Vargas. His losses aren't the worst in the world. Only got 4 of them. 3 of them if you really want to be technical, because he didn't lose to Brock Weaver fight-wise. Lost by, you know, not following the rules. But, you know, if Paddy Pimblett goes in there and completely throws him out, destroys him in that fight, then yeah, Paddy Pimblett's got some potential. But, you know, I worry about him having his head in the air, his chin out, sticking out, because Vargas can crack. He's got some power. You can see from that frame. He's pretty muscly, like he's muscle bound, 5'8", and just muscle. You can tell he would pack a punch. And, yeah, but he's got a big disadvantage in his grappling and his takedowns. Paddy Pimblett's takedowns didn't look the best against Luigi, but he also has some pretty good wins in Cage Warriors. Has that win against Julian Erosa. You know, if you look at how he's doing now in the featherweight division, he's doing great. But obviously, Vargas is a former welterweight. But, you know, being different divisions and all that doesn't matter, especially skill-wise. You know, the higher divisions are normally not as skilled. I'd say Erosa, you know, would be more skilled than Vargas, but, you know, size does play a big factor into this. But Erosa himself was a former lightweight. So, anyway, I'm going off topic, but yeah, I've definitely got to favour Paddy Pimblett here, but don't be surprised if that first round's a bit competitive. But yeah, I'd say competitive first round, then maybe Vargas will slow down a little bit, and Paddy will get a sub. But yeah, definitely looking forward to this one, and the electricity that Paddy Pimblett entrance will be in Liverpool, in London will be great. And you know, if he gets it done here, gets an electric moment, you know, you got a superstar in your hands, and then you got to go back to Liverpool and you got to get him on that card. But yeah, if Paddy Pimblett wins here, I say match him up with Jaron Gordon, win or lose. The story's there, but yeah, who knows? They could maybe give him Alex De Silva next for all we know. But yeah, I'm looking forward to this. This should be a good fight. But yeah, I feel like Vargas is getting pretty overlooked here, but I definitely favour Paddy Pimblett. So yeah, this should be a good fight. So yeah, thanks for listening. If you got picked Vargas, or you got a different view of how this fight goes, let me know in the comments below. So yeah, peace.